I am so happy to be with you today. My name is Magdala Ramirez, and it is very, very beautiful what's going on because I always pray before we start our radio talk and just pray that the Mother to be here. And in this moment, like every day at 9 in the morning, I have this app in the phone and it is called Messages from the Great Mother. And I receive a message today saying, I am here and I'm here with you all the way. And that makes my heart bloom because, yes, she's always here with us. Today we're going to be talking about healing the wounded mother inside of you. For such a many generations, let's say thousands, we can say thousands of years, the knowledge of the Great Mother, it has not been known. It has been hidden for a very, very long time. So our biological mothers, they didn't understand these feminine ways, and it was misleading in many ways when maybe when you were growing up. And the part that it was misleading is that they were forced to follow a patriarchal system. So they become very, very chauvinist too, just even sometimes even worse than a man, telling you the wrong story of how to bend over, how to not have power, or they didn't tell you really what it is the power of the feminine because they didn't know anything about this. So when we bring the teachings of the Great Mother, the people think as an hologram. They relate the Great Mother with their biological mother, and there is a very, very big difference. Why we need to call her our Great Mother? Why it needs to be that way? Well, for such a long time, people relate with a God that, of course, was a male. And he was white, sitting in a cloud, judging you, punishing you, but he loves you. So you begin to understand love of judging and punishing and begin to relate with love in that way. And that was so completely distorted. Many of you are mothers and you see the incredible bonding that you have with your child. It doesn't matter how old the child is, still the bonding resides in it. I was observing this message in the news about how a baby, when it is inside of you, it receives absolutely everything from the mother, everything that it needs to be there, all the energy, all the love. And that is what it creates the miracle of a woman, bringing a child into another realm, bringing a spirit into another realm. Yes, you are the channeler. We can say that it can bring a spirit into another realm. And the incredible love that you feel in that moment, the moment when you're giving birth, the moment when you realize that you were pregnant, that is completely divine. It comes directly from the Great Mother. It comes directly from the source that you are. What it makes you a mother, it is really the Great Mother. But what happened in the system as you were growing up? You received love, the first encounter of love from your biological mother. You know, human beings are so completely dependent when they are born, much more than the whole creation. That codependency, it's absolute. That part of you that depends 100% in your mother. It is so completely absolute. So you open yourself in that way with your biological mother. And what happened in the system when that biological mother didn't know anything about the feminine ways, didn't know anything about a God that can only be male. That's what they thought, but not an energy as it is God, that it is male and female, and it is both happening at the same time. You know, a God that it is inside of you, because just in the same way that you feel your biological mother in you, in the same way, it is the great mother in you. It is this part of you that it is connected to the multiverse, that completely love that it is there, that it teaches you, that it shows you that you are love. So what happened? Well, when you were growing up, maybe they told you that you need to change your tones and your vibration in order to find love. You thought for such a long time that love was in the outside and that love was pain, because that is what it was in the system. You thought that you needed to really just subjugate for the patriarchal system and thinking that the one who has the power, it was the male. And that was completely distorted, because you see, the power of the masculine only can come from the feminine, because they all come from a woman. But you begin to vibrate in that way and give the power away to the system over and over and over again. That's where the programming of the distorted part of you come into being too, because the mothers didn't know how to tell you how sacred you are. They didn't tell you that your real mother is the great mother. They didn't tell you that you are love. They didn't tell you that you are the fountain that never ends, and that it has many, many, many directions, many ways of love, many understanding of love. So love in the patriarchal system got into those regulations, and you begin to think of love as something that it was painful and it was punishable. So you begin to hide. You begin to hide who you are. You begin to hide these parts of you that you feel that it was going to be punished. Many of the biological mothers supported the masculine, and it didn't give you this understanding because they didn't know anything about this. They didn't understand that's how they live. So they thought that that was the only way of the feminine. You receive the teachings of the feminine ways through your biological mother. And it can be very, very distorted. It is the time to heal this part and understand what happened. And see your biological mother as an entity, that it is also the daughter of the Great Mother. Observing her, wherever it is, without giving the power away, without giving her the idea that you're going to continuing doing the patriarchal system when it is a very different time and space what it is right now. You received those feelings too when you went to school. That programming was very, very strong. What it is important was the masculine and not the feminine. Everything was deduction mind, and it has nothing to do about how you feel and what is that insight that you have. It was ridiculized for a very long time. The power of the feminine, you know, the sixth sense that they call it. that gut sense that you have. So when it was so ridiculized, you began to block it over and over again. And your biological mother contributed to that because they didn't know. They thought this is how it is and this is how you're going to live. This is how I pass it on to you, my own pain and suffering. Instead of moving this part of you, you begin to block too the great mother. The great mother in you because it's a mother and you don't like mothers. It is the time of healing because the voice, that woundedness that it is in there as the feminine, it needs to be healed, and the only one that can heal it, it is the great mother. Just like the story of the Koyorshowski that we have in our tribes. That fight that you have with your mother, in some way or another, it needs to be healed. And it needs to be healed in a higher way, in a higher understanding. We were talking yesterday in the chat of the school how important it is to recognize that you are loved and the struggle that people is having about this because they are thinking over and over again that it has to do with the outside world. Can you feel the love without the expression? Can you be that love without the expression so you can see what and where is your power? Your power has always been love. That's the medicine of human being. When you die, the only thing that you're gonna uh, take with you is what you have learned about love. That's the story. That's the experiences that you have. And overcoming that wounded mother inside of you, it is important at this time. It is that part of the love that it is so completely unconditional. Because that's nature. You know, I don't like to distinguish conditional or unconditional because it really creates a duality. I see love everywhere, even if it is distorted. Most in the system is very, very distorted. All the relations can be very, very distorted because that it is the very, very beginning of what happened when you begin to receive love and you begin to relate love with pain and suffering. This is the time when you begin to realize what is going on. There is a part of decay. That decayed, you begin to relate at a very early age that everything decays. And it is not true. Love never decays. Love is always eternal. Once you love, you're gonna love forever. And it is beautiful. It comes into decay when it went into an attachment, into expectations. When you expect something from your biological mother, or even your children, or when you expect something from every single relation, it truly creates a distortion. And you're perpetuating the distortion that the patriarchal system tells you. Healing the wounded mother is healing your love, healing you as love, and realizing that those attachments, the only thing that it is going to bring is suffering and pain, because it's never going to happen the way that you want it. But if you see love in a higher understanding, like seeing everyone around you as messengers of love, and the things that you have learned about yourself, and don't give up, you will keep on loving and loving and loving, for that love has always been you in the eternal way. So you come into this realm, and the first message that you give to your biological mother was about love, and always the giving and receiving happening at the same time. Healing this part of you, it is truly imperative. Love is the connector. It connects absolutely everything. From here, you understand that the one is contained in the whole, and the whole is contained in the one. You are the connector and you are the whole web at the same time. What is that frequency range? What is the understanding of love that you have? This is how you raise your consciousness. When you are able to understand a higher aspect of your own self. Your mothers, if you feel this part of it, they didn't know any of this. They truly believed that the men were gods, just like the father, and that they have power over the feminine. And that was a big, big lie. That lie was installed in you at very, very early age. And for you to create a different story, it is truly begin to listen to that voice and remove the script of all your relations and bring those relations into freedom. For love has always taken you into freedom. Oh, love is the big elevator that it will take you into the universe if you trust. If you trust that part in you, if you can able to trust that part and remove all these little selves, these voices that represents your biological mother, that you feel so punished, you feel so judged and criticized instead of being in power. That is why it's so important the sisterhood too. It was this division and competition with the wounded mother. She didn't know better, but you do now. Competition has never been the ways. You do need the sisterhood because there is no such a thing of the feminine ways without the sisterhood. And observing that other woman, other sister, in a good way means empowering the women, supporting the women's way. Because once you begin to support the feminine ways, it will bring this to everyone in the system, including, of course, the masculine. For them, for the masculine, they didn't understand, they still don't in many ways, why it is this division between mothers and daughters. What happened? And they contribute to it. The wounded father was always there, and it is this voice of the father saying, don't put attention to your mother because she's crazy. And you wanted so much his love. You thought that he has the power that you buy it. And it can be that it wasn't his intention because he didn't know. So he contributed to that separation because that is part of that wounded father. That it will be for another occasion to bring this one into the radio. Healing the wounded father is also very, very important. But it taught you to give the power away over and over and over again and begin to think that it is the man who has the power, and it is not true. It's a very, very distorted. Healing this part of you, it's just imperative at this time. Observe it within your own self, your feminine side, your part of you. It is that beautiful knowing and intuition. This part of you that contains so much power in your own senses, even the ones that you don't know yet. And your male side is the way of living. The way of living needs to change. And it needs to be holding hands, truly, with this part of you that knows. It is you the one who enlightens your masculine. And with this one, I'm not saying that it is in the outside. You start with you. Means enlightening your masculine side, means changing your way of living. That it has nothing to do with a system. It's not a fashion thing. It is not a program that it comes from the system. Now is this, now is that. It is truly just coming from within. You don't need to become something that you're not. You just need to remember who you are, for the only one that you need to reach is you. The big difference that it is right now is that you have an opportunity in this generation to understand yourself in a higher manner, to relate in a higher manner. In the same way, if you have children, don't bring that woundedness back into your children. Don't have attachments or expectations about your children. Give that power in a good way to your children when they are children. But you need to remember at all times that the one who makes you a mother is the great mother, not your children. You can love them without any expectations, without the biases. You see, expectations create biases. They might be looking at you a certain way, and they do have all this script of what you're supposed to be doing for them when they're growing up, of course. In breaking that rule, it is very powerful and very beautiful because you have a purpose in life. Just like your children has a purpose in life that it has nothing to do with you. And yet, it is you, the one to support your children at all times. And they need to see you as that human being that you are, as the daughter of the great mother. Instead of creating all this hierarchy that it comes directly from the patriarchal system. All that part of it that it has been so completely distorted that it creates guiltiness and shame as a daughter and as a mother. You must remember too that so is the mother, so is the daughter. It is this very beautiful understanding of love that it has always been in you. Yet the mother, it is the great mother in you. How much of her do you accept and listen to her voice, that she is guiding you into a higher place? And yeah, so is the mother, the great mother. So it is the daughter. When you heal this part, you're healing your biological mother. And you are also healing all your children too. Your girls. You're healing this part. You're a link in this one when you break that patriarchal system. And bring those relations into a balance. Yes, it is through forgiveness. But don't struggle in the forgiveness. But begin to see the whole thing from a higher aspect of yourself, from the next step of the pyramid. Because once you are in the next step, you can see and understand and heal those attachments that you contribute for a very, very long time. Those expectations that you have for your mother, thinking that love has just that, been distorted, and that's how it has been for such a long time in the patriarchal system. You can reach now that love that it is eternal by removing the attachments, the expectations, even to your children. Love them in freedom. Human being needs this love now. Human being understand this love now. This generation, this now that we are, it is that incredible possibilities because love is what it creates. Everything has to do about love. It's not that the purpose was given from the outside. It is not that dad, who created in you. It is you, the one who understands yourself as love. And you don't need to change to receive love. You don't need to become a beggar of love. When you have expectations, you are a beggar of love. When you are the owner of love, you are love. Healing the wounded mother, it is imperative to be able to see the higher truth about yourself. Healing every single thing that they told you that was the ways of the feminine and you believe it because you were just a little girl. It is the time to heal. Just present a truth and that lie will fall. Know that I love you so much. I am you. Visit to our website, come to our school, download the app that we have now, Messages from the Great Mother. It's available in any phone. Visit my website. It is magdalas.com. It is MAGDALAS.com. Thank you for your work. Thank you for healing all these past generations and bringing that new understanding to the new generations. I am you. I am Magdala.